Good morning. I hope you're having a great morning. I woke up absolutely drenched, drained, no power to get up. I've been in my bed doing exercises and bringing myself together. If that's the morning that you're having, congratulations. I think we are a bit affected by the lunar cycles, and yesterday was a very harsh day, lunar day, hard to sleep. So if you woke up, be grateful and blissful. I woke up eventually, even though it was so hard for my brain to switch on, and I am walking. So if you have not moved yet today, welcome to my walking and talking club. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer any questions, just ask. You can ask directly to direct messages or right here under the post. I always respond. A few people ask about the meaning of their names. And I will absolutely respond to every one of you, and probably will do a masterclass about the names. Why is it so important? Because every morning you wake up under the influence of your name. This is the first thing that affects us when we are reset over the night. The reset is happening, you are resting, your mind is also resting somewhat, not 100%. The mind resolves the issues of the day before and sets the ideas and goals for the next day. So before I go to sleep, I try to clean my mind. Sometimes by just remembering what I've done and thinking about how great it was. If it wasn't great, what can I do better? But in general, the idea is to just bring the energy out of your head. And you can do it just with your hand going above and behind, as if you have a yesterday open space to which you are sending everything that was happening, and clear your mind. And then I fall asleep with the idea that I will go learn something interesting, because our mind is always chewing on something, especially our logical mind, because it doesn't have any other functions but just analyze information that was happening before. And therefore, it will chew on the issues of the day or the month or the year or the life. So when you direct your own attention towards something that's more useful for you, you will have a better result. So I like to direct my mind to learning, because I'm a lifelong learner. I don't only learn from teachers and books and everything I see around myself. I also learn from my higher self, so to speak. What is the higher self? It's the part of you that is not grounded into material plane. It's the part that is one with God, with the universe. It's the photons, protons, electrons, neurons connecting through light to other light, the energy. The energy has information all the time, and everything is energy. Everything isolates. The tree, as long as it's alive, vibrates. Do you know the trees send information to each other miles and miles away? For example, I like essential oils. One day I will talk about it. But I don't use regular medicine. I use essential oil. Why? Because our traditional medicine is plants, but our allopathic medicine is not necessarily traditional. We'll call it traditional, but not really. So in our medicine, we have chemical essences of the plants, but produced artificially. Artificial essences of what nature has created. And plants, every plant has something to heal itself and then heal others. And this is a great metaphor for our life. We live not just to do better, to have more. We also live to bring success to other people, to service other people. And that is the true meaning of life, when you are doing something that is 100% for you, healing, inspiring, scaling yourself, expanding yourself, while also giving opportunities to other people. So the nature does it all the time. The water of the rivers in the spring, when they leave its boundaries, it goes out and it brings the moisture to the soil, and then something can grow on it. Or vaporized water, for example, comes down as a rain. So there is always an energy, the essences, the elements exchange in the nature. And we people could learn a lot from nature. And that's what I do on my walks. I walk around, I look. But then I also try to see. Because looking is not always seeing. Sometimes looking is very superficial. And the brain accumulates the images, and then during the night it chews on it. And when you look and you see, you pay attention, you start seeing things you haven't seen when you just looked. And then you can start noticing. Noticing is a whole different level of observation, because noticing is a more mindful activity in which you see everything as a symbol, as an idea. And that's where you experience universe talking to you. So when I go to sleep, I give my mind a direction, because I see and I look and I observe and I contemplate throughout the day some ideas from the nature, and then I'd like my mind to structure it in some way so I can be of service to other people. And probably you already might know that I am a master of many different knowledges, let's say, structures. Right now I am learning, I'm a master of Syucai, but I'm doing a deeper learning online after I had a long week learning. And before that I had 2 months learning. So every time I go deeper and deeper, I also go higher and higher. So that's how you commune with your higher self. You give yourself higher knowledge, the true knowledge, which is connected to how we are in life, how we connect to nature, how the nature can teach you, how you can learn from everything you see in life, including the people, because universe is full of knowledge. And to have a direct knowledge, direct channel to knowledge, you just need to be open to all knowledge. Sometimes we learn one thing, and even in some systems, it's forbidden to go to other systems. Usually the teachers say, you have to continue with this, don't look into anything else because you'll be confused. I never get confused. I am a cross-pollinator. I actually love when I have different bits and pieces of different masters that came before me, so I can become a better master. I can understand things deeper. So when somebody says you're too eclectic, you know too much, and it means you know nothing, that's not true. You're opening your channels of communication with the world, and when you include somebody else's knowledge into your knowledge, you become wiser. Why? Because you can analyze more, you can see more. It's like little child walking and asking, what is this, what is this, what is this? We lose this ability to be a little child, to wonder, to be in awe of new, to bring new into our brain. And so we don't age, we just get very stagnant in our thinking. And then the aging is the result of it. When you stay young in your mind, when you always learn something new, when you bring neural connections together by learning different things and systems and meeting different people and being in different places and living in different houses and traveling around the world, you open the direct channel of communication with universe. Because what is universe? Universe is light. Universe is photons, protons, explosion of stars. Supernovas explode and new stars are being born. And this is how it is on Earth. The mother explodes with the new child. And our mind explodes with new ideas. Our businesses explode with new products. As above, so below is a direct information. So everything I hear, I also try to listen to. And as I'm listening, I also try to hear. And when I hear and see and look and notice, I try to integrate. And when I go to sleep, I didn't forget, I'm just looping, so you remember better. When I go to sleep, I give myself a direction to go into the universal library of knowledge. Some people call it Akasha, some people call it God, some God's mind. Some people call it white teraphim. There are many different images of how people perceive the channels of knowledge that you can experience. But I like images that are pretty concrete. So for me, I imagine a beautiful structure made of light, sort of like a big mist of possibilities, maybe a cloud-like structure, which looks like a very beautiful building, very etheric building, very soft energy. You can enter in any way. I'm usually entering through the portal, like a beautiful door. I come in and I see that as a library of knowledge. And in this beautiful white teraphim building, I see, in my mind, in my imagination, I see shelves and shelves, etheric shelves filled with books, and of all colors, all languages, all looks, with all the knowledge that is possible. And some of those books are kind of like coming out for me as I look at the shelves, with the idea that tonight I'd like to have a little more knowledge about this or this. Or sometimes just I'd like to read something new that I haven't read in this white teraphim library before. So as I'm entering this beautiful building of white light with the golden roof above it, arched roof, I feel I am in a great place to spend my night. Like a child, I like to read under my blanket with the little light underneath, because the parents always want children to go to bed on time. I was a rebellious child. I'm still a rebellious adult. And so, just like in childhood, a magical light would open wisdom of the book. I go to this structure and I fall asleep imagining that. And what's interesting today, I woke up after visiting white teraphim, because not every day I do it. I do different things different days, but yesterday I couldn't fall asleep and I did this. And I woke up with a system, a very cool system. Like I said, I'm studying Syucai. Syucai is the science of understanding yourself and others through information of your birth. Because when you are born, you have a particular matrix that is the moment of your birth, also recorded in your documents, because there is subjective reality in which you live, which is your upbringing, your idea, your mind, structured by your parents, for example, or your schooling, your name, the day of the week you're living. Those are subjective things. And then there are objective things that exist without you. For example, even if I don't get out from my house, this exists, right? If I got out and I saw it, objective reality and subjective reality come together, and I'm in the present moment. But let's say I keep walking and I start looking in the phone and I'm not looking at the nature anymore, which I don't do. I still look around. If I do go into phone, which lots of people do, by the way, if you notice everywhere we are, in a restaurant, in the train, you see people looking in their phone. They do not see each other. They do not connect as they connected before, eye to eye. So our brain is, by the way, missing the eye-to-eye connection, because eyes are the mirror of the soul, window into the soul, right? This is my eyes. It's very sunny. So they're kind of in the shadow. But I see you. Even if I don't see you in person, I do see you're joining the stream. And I even see in the future all the people that are opening this walk and talk. And I'm sending love to every one of you. My state of love. Not that I love everyone personally, because I don't know some of you. I wish I could know some of you. So come up on the stream or send me a message so my connection is more personal. But just from my heart, because the sun is so beautiful and it shines right into my heart, and I feel extremely warm. I'm sending this warmth to you wherever you are, even if you're in a climate, in Siberian climate, where things are not as sunny as it is right now here in Florida. So when we look into the computers all day, or the virtual screens of our phone, we lose that connection with ourselves, and the objective reality disappears. We only have our subjective reality, how we are able to perceive information on the screen. And some of it is objective, but it's virtual, it's not real, it's not nature-based, and therefore it only gives you a limited information. And that's why our brain is not working in an expanded way. So lots of children and adults are playing games, great educational games or games to become faster in your mind. But excessive gaming, for example, will limit your mind and create an addiction, because a certain hormone is being produced when you are gaming. The gaming usually comes with some sort of winning, with some sort of losing. So there is adrenaline and cortisol that is being produced and raging in your body, suppressing your immune system and your ability to think clearly. So same thing happens if you see a movie, thriller. I have nothing against thrillers, I love thrillers, but if you watch it after work, right before you go to sleep, the hormones of cortisol and adrenaline that are being produced while you're watching it, so you can align, harmonize with the situation in the movie and feel it as if you are there. They are there for a while. If you watch it for 2 hours, 2 weeks, it takes to release those hormones. I'm not making it up, it's science. So when you do any activity, that what harmonizes you with the next moment of your life. So everything you do before creates hormones, harmonizing you with the state of that doing, and then you come to the next moment with that state. And when you come into the next moment with adrenaline and cortisol, you need to release it, because your body cannot handle that amount. And we usually release it on children, husbands, employees, sometimes employers. Sometimes we go to the store to release it, and the best way to release it is to walk, all the way up, straight spine, and emphasis on the ball of your foot, because as you're walking this way, you give your body information, you're moving forward, you're moving away from things that are not beneficial for you towards things that are more beneficial. You can have very clear intentions for your walk. My intention is to be of service. This is a pure intention of sharing what I know, because a lot of people that I have connected over the years on Facebook, for example, disappeared into the mist of the past. And I want to live an objective reality, in this moment reality. And Facebook, even though it's virtual, it's pretty objective, because when people are born, you can see it. When people die, you see it. And when people are alive, you also see it. But sometimes we don't see people alive. We just see the name, and there is nothing happening. And I'm not a fan of sitting in the social media channels, because it takes a lot of your time and you lose your energy. But I do it strategically. I direct my mind for the service of humanity. So if I help 1 or 2 people today, or 4 or 5 or however many, or tomorrow or the day after, because my broadcast is out there, and people get a little more understanding of what's going on in their life, I'm happy. And then my social media for the day is done. I'm connecting, I'm using social media to connect with people, not to lose my energy. All right. So when I woke up today, I had a whole system of Syucai, the knowledge of knowing people from the distance. And in this broadcast, I will give you the link to the channel, which is in Russian and in English. So the first link will take you to the Russian page. The next link will say Syucai Birthright. It's our birthright to know everything about ourselves and know other people even from the distance, so you don't get into situations that are not beneficial for you. So if you join the second page, which is in English, I will do master classes free as a service. I will do personal sessions there in English. But if you're a Russian-speaking person and you join the first page, you'll have the activity happening right this moment. You'll see the schedules. You can join the channel and have free strategic consultation. And actually, Tuesday and Wednesday, we are doing analysis of your birth date. So if you jump into this analysis, you will be chosen to ask any questions you want and receive answers that you've been looking for. So, back to the Syucai, this knowledge that I am right now deeply involved with. There is a training institute. If you're interested in training, let me know. I'll explain more about it in personal conversation. But when I woke up, I saw a game that I've been developing, the game based on metaphorical cards. Metaphorical cards are the images that help your brain to access deeply hidden issues in unconscious mind. And I'm not talking about issues like childhood trauma. If you have childhood trauma, I can help you with that. So you live in the objective reality in this moment and not go back to your subjective reality, which is understanding how you were raised and how it affected you. We were raised by the people that love each other enough to produce our life. Because without that love, without that spark, we would not be able to travel from the soul, from the energy form onto a physical form. So somebody gave you genetics and somebody helped you sustain life while you were powerless. And so they loved you enough. And our parents are also children. We all are children of God, and we all have our own missions in life. Missions is not a big esoteric word. It's what we do. It's our actions. And as we do our actions, we do them from the perspective of our birth date. And since everybody in your family has a different birth date, of course it might not look like they were good for you or they did something good for you. If you have alignment in the family with your birth dates numbers of your matrix, maybe it felt like a great childhood. But for many people, the childhood is about deep disturbance, because parents want things their way, because they think this way. They think that's right and it's true, and they love you, and therefore they do things like that. For example, I love you so much, and I know you're much better than that, and why did you do such a bad job? You could do such a better job, a much better job. And it creates low confidence. Or they say, I love you so much, I worry all day long, you should not go there, you should not do this, you should not meet this. And that creates limiting thinking. So nobody was after you in your childhood. People did the best they could, even the ones that spanked us. I had spanking 1 week long because I didn't behave in the school. I talked just as much as I talk right now, and I was very rebellious. And so I did what I thought is right, and my right is different from the teacher's right. So my teachers were not happy with my behavior. As a student, I was great, no problem. I'm okay. As a student, I can learn, and I can give back information that I learned, and I can make it even more interesting. But my behavior didn't match my good efforts, and so they gave me bad grades and behavior, and my mom spanked me for that. And I hated her with a passion. And then I understood she was so weak. She was truly weak, because she was not moving in her life. She was stuck in many different ways. And she needed to find the power, and she couldn't. And that was her power, to spank me, because she wanted the best for me. She never played piano, but she wanted me to play piano. My father is an amazing analyst. He's been analyzing maps for geology ministry, and he would find with his mind where the diamonds and gold is, and he was a geologist. So then people would go and dig and find. And so, of course, he wanted his child to be just as smart, and I am. I'm pretty smart, and I can make connections, and I can dig out people's issues and make gold out of lead. I'm a magician, just like my father. But I was not good at math, because I didn't care for math. I cared for psychology. I cared for relationships, for humanitarian science, more than I cared for what he cared for. So he was extremely upset with me, and I could never fulfill his dream of becoming a big, I don't know what his dream was really, I never asked, but he was really good, but he was never acknowledged as good. I mean, they would give him more work. And when he wanted to go to America to join me here, he wouldn't let him go, of course, because he had big state secrets. But he was never acknowledged as a scientist, as a great mind. And so he wanted me to have that great mind and to be acknowledged. So he screamed at me at the top of his lungs, like, how stupid could you be? This is so simple. It was never simple for me. And so we all have our own way of thinking and of being of service. And what's important is not to break your children, and most importantly, not to break yourself if you're not like somebody else. It's not a problem. It is a blessing to be like you. So this science helps you understand who you are, how you are. That's not the only science. I'm also a master of human design, gene keys, matrix energetics, and so many different other things. And I also have my own system, the system of understanding ourself and others through different energetic approach. What it means, energetic approach, is we usually use our energy to check out somebody else, right? We kind of send the feelers in the form of words, or we're looking at the person, or we're smelling the person, or we're touching the person. And the information comes to us, and information is always energy. It's always photons, protons, electrons. There is nothing else in information. It's the energy. How we read this energy, how we interpret this energy, depends on the state we're in. If we're scared, all the information will feel scary. If we're elated, all information will feel great. If we're interested, everything will be interesting. The information doesn't make you anything, but more knowledgeable. What makes you something is how you feel. So look at the nature. Some of the trees survived the hurricane, and they're vibrant and green. And right next to it is another tree that did not survive so well. And some of these trees completely did not survive. Look at this, they're falling. Those are magnolias, beautiful trees with the amazing flowers. And some of the trees are taken away. And we are just like that. Some of us are not in a state in which we can survive. And what helps us survive are the roots. So the first roots are, of course, the roots in the family. This is how we feel alive, because we have parents that provoke different emotions by giving us different knowledge about the world of people, and we either go crazy about it or we fall in love with our parents, because those are the first gods we see. And then we sometimes say, I will never be like my mother, I will never be like my father. And what happens, you don't even have the family. Many clients that came to me with the issues of infertility, or the issue of not being able to create the family, or to find somebody that they can feel okay with, trust, was because sometime in their mind this idea pop up as a safety mechanism: I should never be, I will never be. And for our mind to be a father, or to be like my father, or anything around this, is the same. It's just you are not gonna be. And when those issues are dissolved, which happens again and again and again, people get pregnant. Just recently I had a client couldn't get pregnant for 3 or 4 years, hormones, this, that, the other thing, nothing. I had a woman, not this woman, the other woman, in her 40s, she couldn't conceive. No matter what they've done, same thing. We resolved the issue with the family that didn't want the child for whatever reason, and she was able to conceive. I had another client with also in her 40s, a middle child of the 8 children family, where mother and father, 2 families joined together with the children, and she was a middle child who became a mother for everybody. And she was so tired that she was always saying, well, I never have time for myself. And when I started asking, she's in her 40s, her siblings are in their 60s by then, because she was younger. So she was still taking care of the siblings who are 50s, 60s. And when we resolved that limiting belief that she has no time for herself, she found the time and she found the space for herself, and within her body, the new life was able to show up. Same thing with men who cannot marry, or women who cannot marry. Those are the people who have limiting beliefs that something is not safe. So understanding yourself and how you operate allows you to also understand what are the competencies that are missing. And some of the competencies are in your name. We started this broadcast with reminding you that the previous broadcast was about the meaning of your name. But the meaning of your name is also information. It's photons, protons, vibrations. And when you wake up with a certain feeling, it's your name doing. So before you go to sleep, you can actually change that by going to the library, a civic library. You can imagine any library you want. I imagine White Seraphim Library, and you direct your information to commune with other information, because you are photons and protons, you are information. As you are going to this other informative layers of reality, you receive something that you can then look into. So when I woke up, I saw metaphorical cards that I already created, and other ones in numbers of 9 rows of 9, 81, and each row was about energetic connection with the world. So one row was about what kind of strategy do I use in my life. We all have strategy. Not only the people born on the 1st of any month or 10th, for example, or 19th, people who are having number 1 as a summary of their birthday are strategists. But we're all strategists. It's just our strategy is different. So when we come together around the table, meeting table, let's say at work, or home at the dinner table, we all have different strategies, and there is no need to fight about different strategies, because every strategy is a part of the whole, and you can bring collective strategy to the level which helps everybody. But if you look into somebody else's strategy as the wrong strategy, because we all have understanding of what's right and wrong, what's logical and unlogical. This is about people born on the 5th, for example, or 14th, or 23rd of the month, any month. And if you're interested in the numbers, in previous broadcasts I talked about it a lot. Every time I talked about those numbers. So, but if you have summary 5, or you're born on the 5th, for example, you will have your understanding of right and wrong, and you will measure everything as right and wrong, logical and unlogical. And if something is not logical, you're gonna go crazy. But everybody has the logic. Everybody has this competency. We all have, we live in a reality, in a world that follows the 9 rules of the universe. And so if you don't know these rules, these laws, well, you make mistakes. And the mistakes are not accepting, not bringing in, including the other view, the other understanding of the world. Because when you make this mistake, it's the only mistake you can do, is to separate yourself from the information, from the light that's coming in. That's where you lose the energy. So sometimes when I feel drained, like today in the morning, is that I was fighting half of the night with the moon. And then I realized I want to be separate from the moon. I was closing my windows. I was trying to fall asleep. I was tossing and turning. And then I realized the moon is giving me very clear information that I need to go somewhere else, that moon is not my planet. I do not really positively experience moon energy. For me, those days are harsh because they affect the water in my body. I'm a water sign. I'm a Cancer. I'm born in June. And so I'm pretty sensitive to all fluctuations of energy. That's why I can do the work that I do. That's why I can connect with people and read their life, their business, their future. I'm not predicting the future, but potentials. I'm talking about potentials. And I can do it well because my body is very open to this. But water is an essential part of everybody. It's 80% of our body, 90% of the mind. If you don't have enough water in your body, you're not able to integrate information. You know that water is the ancient medium through which we receive the wisdom of the earth. And this is the place where the life was born. So this feeling of being drained, often connected to fighting with something, without even being conscious, even if you're fighting childhood trauma that is within your body, stored in the water of your body. Like an icon. Somebody triggers you and you go boom, and that childhood trauma is there, and now you see that person as if it's your mother or your father or your teacher or your preacher or whatever else happened to you. Some sort of abuser that made you feel unsafe. And so to realize that all of that was not against you but for you, to expand your mind, to include the world as is, to move you from subjective reality of how you think about things, unsafe, to objective reality where things are not safe or unsafe, things just are. And when you are able to be clear in your mind, to be able to analyze information that comes to you, if you're able to gain information through teaching yourself during the night sleep like I do, in the White Teraphim Library or any other Akashic records or whatever you know about, or going to teachers, because this is easy. You can find the teacher that matches you and connect. You can also learn with me. I'm happy to share information that I know. I have a big YouTube channel with a lot of information about different things under my name, Svetlana Pritzker. I also have Amazon account with lots of books for children and adults. All the Vedic stuff that comes to my mind go into the book. So you can learn from anybody you want. The most important thing, do not miss your teacher. Sometimes you hear something and you go, wow, that is cool. Learn more in that same direction, which feels cool for you. That's why I bring many different things on those broadcasts, because those are not necessarily teaching. Those are just sharing the information. The channel comes to me, and as I talk, the next level of information comes. Analyze it. See what's relevant to you. What's important. What's one thing, not the whole thing. Of course, I talk about different things, because this is work. I'm working, I'm noticing, I'm hearing things that universe is giving me, and I'm sharing, because it's for me and for you. Sometimes I re-listen my podcast and I go, that's interesting to explore a little deeper, because not everything I'm saying I know. Some things I say for the first time, because that's how our energies, yours and mine, interact. So ask questions, give me some little fire or something, some sort of sticker, so I know that you are alive, that you're not just the name on my screen, but you're also alive and full of energy. Why do you need this? Not me. I do it for me. My walking club is for me. I would not walk. I'm too lazy to walk in the morning, but when I'm walking with you, it gives me oomph, the energy, because like I said, my body is very open, and as I receive the energy, the request, even if you didn't say anything, I know you request. Very often in a session, a person says, I don't even know what question to ask. And I always say, no worries. I know what question is lingering in the subconscious corridors of your mind. But the most important thing is to bring yourself into objective reality. And this is objective reality for me. At home, I can sit and think about stuff. But here I see real people, real cars, real trees. They exist even if I'm not getting out of the house. And by coming out and connecting with what's real, what is not necessarily just what I've built for myself, but also what the world has created for me. Thousands of people worked on this car. A lot of people work on creating materials for this house and for this bicycle. We use stuff like telephone. We use stuff all the time without acknowledging how much work, good morning, came into this work, into this product. So we like to complain about products. I do too. That's too small, that's too big, that's not enough, that's not shiny enough. But the truth of the matter is, it's a subjective perception. It might be not shiny enough for me, but shiny enough for somebody else. We all see different things, we look at things differently, and we interpret things differently. So complain is loss of energy. Every time you criticize or complain about something, or judge something, or judge yourself, or complain about your life, you are losing energy. What does it mean to lose the energy? You can look up the emotional scale on Google. But essentially, 0 is emotional, mental, or spiritual, or physical death, when you cannot wake up, too hard. Then comes depression. Depression is you still cannot do anything, but at least you know you're not feeling good. And then the next comes blame, shame, complain. This is like 20. Energy is 20 hertz. 20 hertz is the energy of parasites and viruses and bacteria. This is how they vibrate. Work of Raif Roybal. He was an engineer in the beginning of the 20th century who learned how to, discovered how to see viruses, bacteria, cancer virus in its living form. Because before that, microscopes were working with the dead viruses and bacteria. They couldn't look at these creatures alive, and therefore they would only see a form, not the form in progress. And he was the first person to discover light microscope. He was directing the beam of light into those creatures and could see their growth and development. And he was first to bring the idea that cancer viruses, for example, that cancer has a virus nature, and different cancers are just the different stages of virus as it mutates within the human body and attaches to human body and gaining information. Connecting to human DNA, it produces certain results. And he was creating big machines that now you can find on the market called Raif machines. They're smaller now, that delete the energy of bacteria from your body and create the environment of healing. But you can do it without any machines. That's what I realized. I have gazillions of different machines because back in the day I was working a lot in the medical field with the doctors, supporting those who could not heal with the psychosomatic analysis, human design analysis, and then using bioresonance technology. I'm a bioresonance practitioner as well. So using bioresonance technology to minimize the energy of the parasites, viruses, and bacteria so the body can heal. But understanding simple thing about your vibrational scale can help you heal. There are spontaneous healing of mortal illnesses, incurable illnesses. When people switch their attention from being a victim, from being sick, for being sad, for blaming, shaming, complaining about things, which is 20, to something they love, even if it's a comedy on TV, even if they go and travel somewhere, even if they sell everything that was weighing on them, even if they break the relationship that didn't work for them, and they completely shifted into a different vibrational quality. They change their health. And your state is coming also from the name and from the date of your birth and from your environment and from what you've learned and from what you see. So you can change anything of it. You cannot change your date of birth. That's already happened and planet already affected you. But the good news is you have limited numbers in your birthday. For example, people born in 2000 and after, millennials, did you notice that sometimes they lack some competencies that are obvious to you if you are born before 2000? And that's because they do not have the competencies from the universe. It doesn't mean they're doomed. It means they have to work hard. But did you also notice that sometimes people born after 2000, hard for them to make decisions, they're more confused, they're weaker physically sometimes. And some of them, many of them, who go and create the physical discipline and discipline of the mind, learning and bringing new competencies, that goes to all our grandchildren, by the way. Maybe some children, and maybe you are young enough to be born around 2000, because it's 24 right now, so 24 years is an adult. So if you feel weak, incapable of doing certain things, it means you just lack some competencies. And how do you know which competencies do you lack? It's very simple. Write down your birth date, the whole date with the month's day and year, and then look what are the numbers that are missing. And again, in previous broadcasts, I already told you about the meaning of each number. If you don't know, connect, and I'll be happy to give you a strategic session. Or if you're speaking Russian, connect to the link in this broadcast, and I'll connect you with a friend of mine who's also doing a great, amazing work on her channel. Free of charge, you will be plugged into this knowledge, and your life will become much more clear for you. So when you realize which numbers are missing, you will realize what qualities you need to work on, bring into your life, or to bring people that already have those qualities. This is the easiest way, by the way. If you are a business owner, for example, and you see your business falling apart or not working optimally, that means that you don't have those qualities yourself, and maybe your people, the people who are working with you, also don't have it. Yesterday I was analyzing a business analysis. I was doing business analysis for one of my clients, and he's number one in his thinking and number four in his actions, which means he is a strategist of how to market things, how to sell things, how to explain things, how to generate ideas, for strategic ideas for the business. And he's doing it. It's all great. The problem is he cannot scale. He cannot have more money. He cannot have more responsibilities. Why? Because he is not an owner of this business. And one needs to be either an owner of the business, or he needs to have a territory that he can be responsible for, or he needs to have people he's responsible for, but with the full power. He has the power of suggestion, but he doesn't have the strategic power to act on it, and he doesn't have the budget to act on it. And therefore, he's always unsatisfied, because in the low energy, the mission for the action that drives him are the actions to generate ideas, to find the strategic ideas, and to find the primary goal. What needs to be done? What is the point of applying your power to turn the business around into a positive direction? Because he doesn't have that strategic power based on not enough responsibility that he's given by the owner of his company. He's always unsatisfied. That's the doomed feeling of the energy for anybody born on 4, or the summary of the whole birth date is 4, will always be unsatisfied when they do not have their soul fulfilled. And the soul of the one, thinking process of the one, the people who are born on 1st or 10th, these people, or 19th, these people will be satisfied when they have a big responsibility. The bigger responsibility, the bigger satisfaction. But we're scared, right? We're scared of taking responsibility. And I'm not talking about one particular person. This is just an example. We all have those issues, because we all have all 9 numbers, and your name also ends up with a number. Which number I can calculate for you, but it needs to be done in a private settings because that's important information, maybe not very interesting for everybody else. But maybe I'll calculate the names who ask me for it, and I will talk about it tomorrow. So, the summary. I talked a lot about many different things. We are being affected by many different facts that already are facts of our life, like the name, for example, or the birth date. But these are the energies with which we impact the world as well. They could come in a lower vibrational state: blame, shame, complaint, fear, anger, resentment, concern even. They can come in a higher vibrational state, being brave, being willing to try something new, being interested in things, being curious, being understanding. Understanding somebody is a whole different story, which is hidden in number 2, for example. Being able to analyze what you think with a clear head is hidden in number 3, for example. Being able to identify your priorities, hidden in number 4. And being able to understand the usefulness and create logistics, how to get to that useful result, is hidden number 5. Number 6 is about building comfortable relationships and creating comfortable environments so people can collaborate. And number 7 is how not to lose the energy, how to gain the energy. And by the way, this could be done by working. Rising your emotional state could be done with a simple question: how interesting? What is it about for me? How is it reflects me? So all of these things, the guy is driving with the phone. Can you believe it? This is exactly what I'm saying. Virtual reality, subjective reality. In objective reality, I see the car getting into some sort of accident. Hopefully it doesn't happen. I pray for him. So, number 8 is about material result. When you do all different things, you are able to control the result. You're not just working without having any material result. You are working strategically, analyzing things, building relationships in a comfortable way so you don't lose your energy, and you are understanding logistics and you're understanding people, and then your energy rising and the material result is there for you. And then, of course, you can harvest those material results and feel safe, secure, and generate more ideas for more services. So this is the success, the true success. True success is not a bigger house, a bigger car, more money in your bank account. Those are material results of the compromised mind that believes that in order to be happy, you need all of it. I am not against money. I love money. I charge for my sessions, not the mini sessions I do or the community service I do right here, but I respect energy exchange, and I believe that when people do receive information for free, it goes in and out, because the quality of relationship is built on what is the value, what kind of value you attach to something. And usually free things are not very valued. Look, I'm giving a lot of important points today, and I only have a few people here. But later on, I see more hundreds of views. Hopefully people view at least a few minutes to get something. That's why I do different topics throughout this conversation, so everybody gets whatever they need. And if you need a deeper conversation, join our channel or text me directly. We'll connect, we'll look into whatever you need to look into, so you can expand your mind and be in the objective reality, not just in subjective reality. And there is also super objective reality. This is the reality of where you live, your state, your country, your passport, your ID. For example, if your name Svetlana, like mine, and everybody calls you Sveta, Svetlana and Sveta end up with one. So for me, there is no miscalculations. But let's say you have 2 names, you have 2 numbers, so the psyche splits between 2, and energy fluctuate. Or let's say you're Alexandra and you call yourself Sasha. Those are two different names. Olga and Ola, two different numbers. So every time you change something, it changes things. But in your super objective reality, in your documents, you still have the number, which for me, number one is popularity. So am I popular with you? I've been pretty popular, and everybody I meet remember me. I cannot remember everybody sometimes because I see thousands of people. I travel around the world every month at least, sometimes twice a month. I try to be in place for at least 5 to 6 weeks so I can reset my energy. But yes, we travel a lot. We're dancing Argentine tango around the world. We study with the most amazing teachers, and we also teach here in Sarasota. And I travel for my study. I just came from Istanbul, of course, studying Syucai, and I studied Gene Keys with Richard Rudd in London and in Divan, which is away from London. I've traveled to France to study with Murat Emderstel and his partners. I travel all the time, which expands my mind. But understanding how energy fluctuates and what you can do to keep yourself alive and well, to keep your brain sharp, you need to understand all your competencies, which is your name, your birthday, your metrics. So we'll talk more about it every day between 8 and 9, hopefully closer to 8 Eastern. I'm getting out and I invite you to my walking club. And with that, I'm gonna finish my broadcast. Have an amazing week, amazing day, amazing year, which is also a number. Everyone has a personal year in addition to the year we all live on earth. See, hear, understand, analyze, be present in your objective reality, and make sure your objective reality and your super objective reality rule, not just your subjective, not just what you think of yourself, because those are illusions, and we live life to dismantle illusions. So we love our illusions. It's cool to have. It's fun to talk about. It's really good to complain, but remember, as you complain, you drop into 20, and understanding is 400. If you want to understand yourself, up you go, walk up and forward. If you want to be loved and loving, it's 500. 500, not 20. And if you want to come out from the fear, I suggest using energy 350, which is enthusiasm and interest. How interesting. Wow, why is it happening? Why am I so scared? Is it in my subjective reality, which is ran on the logical chewing of the past situations? Or am I in a present moment, how scary it is right now, right here? I don't see any tiger. I actually see a police car. And in my neighborhood, I'm always protected because we have policemen live here. And even though I'm scared when police start following my car, I am very happy the police is in my neighborhood because nobody comes here uninvited. So, have an amazing day. Connect. Send me a comment, question, or request. And I will post the link to connect with me and my friend in the channel where we do give information in Russian and in English. So if you speak in Russian and your children speak English, maybe it would be useful for you not to tell them all this information and tell them how they should be, but send them somewhere where they meet me or my friend and they get information from a different person and a different number. And my number is 7, which is fast realization, perfection in realization. So trust me, if you need to realize something, I'll help you. All right, much love. Bye.